guys, it's Misty from the Book Rat, and it's time for my other stack of 5 review for the month. Demonglass by Rachel Hawkins, the winner of the bonus stack. Please note, Demonglass is book 2, so if you're afraid of spoilers and haven't read Hex Hall, you might just want to skip this video. Demonglass picks up not too long after Hex Hall leaves off, with Sophie still sort of reeling from everything that happened in book 1 and people that died and finding out that she's actually part demon rather than a witch. And so everything's kind of up in the air, and all she knows is that she's terrified of her demon blood and her powers and the potential to lose it and kill someone she loves. And so she wants to go through the removal and have her powers removed. So her father, who to this point we haven't met, makes a deal that she can go through the removal if she spends the summer with him in England, gets to know the council, and lets him explain and kind of convince her not to lose her powers and go through the potentially deadly process of removing them. And that's sort of the impetus for this book. So she heads off to England, and of course, because there would be no plot otherwise, all is not well in merry old England. This book does get a thumbs up. It was one that I was eagerly anticipating. I did have some issues with it, and I think I had issues with Hex Hall too, but it became, rosier in hindsight, and maybe this one will too, but it was a good strong follow-up. Sophie grows. It did have some things that surprised me and that I found unexpected, which is a rarity for me, but especially in paranormal YA. I like where it seems to be going, and I like that there is some gray area in that not all good guys are purely good and not all bad guys are purely bad. I like when authors kind of play with that a little bit and explore that because that's more realistic. I don't really go for the whole team so-and-so thing that people do when they're reading books that have love triangles, and of course this has the obligatory love triangle developing. But I have to say in this one I was more interested in the love triangle than I normally would be because it seems realistic to me, and I do like both people that are forming the other 2 points of Sophie's triangle. I think that it's something that could potentially go really, really wrong, and I think for some people it already has. I think a lot of people tend to have a very strong opinion on either Team Archer or Team Cal. I'm Team Sophie, and I want her to make the choice that makes her happy, but I think the dynamic between the 3 of them is really interesting, and it does up the tension of the book. Even if I was hoping to read at least one paranormal YA that didn't have a triangle, whatever, you win some, you lose some. Now, Hex Hall I found pretty unputdownable, and it was just hilarious and made me happy, made me laugh. And this one I was able to put down, which makes me feel a little bit disconnected to the book, but I have to be clear on why, because I don't think it was the fault of the book at all. 2 things. 1, my mood was just my mood this month. But 2, Cress showed up, and that became priority, so I did put this down, even though I had like 25-30 pages to go and I could have easily just finished it and then picked up Cress. That didn't happen. I think having that little bit of a gap in the reading did cause me to have a little bit of a disconnect, but that's not at all the fault of the book. That's just my obsession with the Lunar Chronicles. And all in all, it was really enjoyable. I'm curious to see where it goes. It's probably good that I did have that little bit of disconnect because it leaves off in a point where I think otherwise I would really physically need to read book 3, which I don't have. So it's probably good that I had that little bit of distance to make my reaction a little milder. But I mean, it was fun, it was enjoyable. She's still a funk breaker. I still love Sophie, though I think that we're losing a little bit of the snarkiness as she grows up and as she deals with the seriousness of the situation. It just wouldn't be as appropriate, so that doesn't bother me so much, but it does change the way the book reads. But I'm certainly curious about book 3 and will be getting it, and I still would highly recommend this if you haven't started the series, but yet for some reason still decided to watch my review of the second book. Probably not your best decision, but if you haven't started the series, pick it up. It's a great funk breaker. It's super fun. It's a solid take on the paranormal YA genre, and it just is enjoyable. And sometimes that's just all you need from a book, is just a good, enjoyable, engaging experience. And Rachel Hawkins always delivers that, so thumbs up. That was what I thought of Demonglass by Rachel Hawkins, the second book in the Hex Hall series. If you guys have read it, let me know what you think in the comments. And that's all for now. As always, thanks for watching and happy reading!